I was 7 years old, my mama told me, go make yourself some friends or you'll be lonely. Once I was 7 years old. Once I was 7 years old. It was a big, big world, but we thought we were bigger. Pushing each other to the limits, we were learning quicker. By 11, smoking herb and drinking burning liquor. Never rich, so we were out to make that steady figure. Once I was 11 years old, my daddy told me, go get yourself a wife or you'll be lonely. Once I was 11 years old.
Whoa, that went a bit ridiculous, didn't it? Alright, boys. Big event coming up. Look, if anything, it's probably hyped a little bit too much, right? A lot is priced in now in terms of what is expected into the market. Is about to be a 0.25 rate cut and talk about extra measures if needed for the August meeting. All right, so that's the expectations, and they're pretty much baked in. We did have a pullback yesterday, and it was relatively sharp, but nothing too crazy given the recent turn. Pulled back to 131 this morning in Asia, and then they came back in. They bounced up this afternoon as stock markets rallied again. All right, so risk is on, right? Risk is on, bank, no doubts about it. If they deliver what is expected, I don't think the pound's going to fall too much. All right, so the game plan for me anyway is if we get below 131, I'd be a little bit concerned, but I'd still be watching 130. All right, this is on the baseline. We are cutting rates 0.25%, and we're looking at some extra measures for the next meeting if necessary. All right. That's the baseline, right? So you're like, well, if that happens, the pound should have a knee-jerk reaction lower, and then potentially we got aggressive buying coming afterwards. That would make a lot of sense. And in some of the scenarios in the past where you've had some major crises and the market is expecting things and has rallied into the event on expectation of these things, if they are delivered, then if the actual event is something which hurts a currency, like cutting rates, like the pound, so breaking down, bouncing lower, then I think the market's showing you direction it wants to go to as long as it gets what it wants. When it becomes trickier here is if they don't cut rates. What does that mean? To straight up theory, what that means is that the pound should rally, okay? But probably what would happen is that it'll be similar to a Bank of Japan announcement where you get the sharp rally, and then stock markets, probably led by the FTSE, would sell off because they're all pricing, a shitload of easing now. You'll get that big rally as a knee-jerk reaction, and then if the stock markets turn over, pound yen is probably going to pull down the pound. Okay, that's the, so the way you see that is it's straight up, say to 134, and then you're looking at, say, the DAX, and you're looking at the Dow Jones, which is at all-time highs right now, and you see some sharp selling coming through, and then the dollar yen starts to fall, and that ends up pulling down the pound. So that's how I see the non-cut scenario going. I think it's actually easier here if we get the cut and the market finds support just a little bit lower, but not because it doesn't go below 131, and we start to rally again. Then we can just hop on buying pound or buying pound yen. That will be the way I want to play today. All right, and we do get this in 5 minutes, so let's speed this up a bit. Dollar yen's just busted up 105. It's on its way to 107, so it's got the green light. Oil is a little bit dubious still. We had some weak data out that's pulled down, but I think it's not being watched yet. So market's not really worrying about it. You can tell the market's not really worried about it because the CAD's not really worried about it. So let's not read too much into that. It's all going to be about dollar yen and the DAX and the FTSE. I might bring up a FTSE chart on the other page. But you know, in reaction of what this is going to happen here, you know, the amount of downside is based upon what extra measures they talk about. If they announce extra measures, right, as well as a cut, or if they do a 0.5% cut, then you'll see the pound go below 131, probably towards 130. It becomes a little bit trickier, but I'll be there to talk you through what, you know, what I'll be doing anyway. But if it's just your standard 0.25% cut, you'll see the market pull back, and then I think that it's going to be caught up here. And if stocks start to rally, we're buying. Okay, that's the game plan. All right, that's a default. Anything else happens apart from that, we'll discuss. All right, the in terms of Aussie and Kiwi, we'll talk about that in a little bit because there's some big moves going on there. We've got another trade actually developing, which is quite a high percentage trade actually happening right now in the Aussie Kiwi. We've got a couple of minutes, so I'll just quickly intervene. Aussie Kiwi's been in a huge range now for over a month. We had a false break up, then smashed down on some weak news from Aussie, then back up, and the market just rallying on no news. The rally on no news and breaking range is extremely important, especially after you break down on the downside. That's really telling you that this has got a lot of upside potential. Okay, so I bought that break this afternoon on the expectation of an extension. The next big key data is coming out Monday morning, 8:45 Sydney time. That's New Zealand CPI. That's huge. All right, but right now it looks like we've got momentum building here on the top side. Pound is just really weak all of a sudden. There's no news that's making it weak. It's just rolling over, and the Aussie Kiwi is just taking advantage of that. Aussie's remaining strong, and the Aussie Kiwi is just squeezing higher. All right, but let's just not worry about that. That's another trade, but very high probability trade. Every now and again, the Kiwi goes through this cycle of weakness, and it's happening right now. All right, so you can see the potential upside here. Maybe a little high to get in right now, but a pullback towards that 105.50 could provide the good opportunity to get long. But let's bring up the charts. Yeah, so this is going to be fun. Pound and pound yen are going to be the way we play. Let's bring those up. Dollar yen's just crushing it. That's fine. Pound yen, euro pound shorts, pound Swiss longs. They're all going to be in the game right now. So I've got a couple of seconds to prepare these. Hopefully we can get them all up and ready to go. Alright. We're looking for quickly golly gosh, where are you, pound yen? Here we go. Alright, looks like they didn't cut. Let me just check that, what's going down. This is the more dangerous scenario. If they didn't cut. Sorry, I wasn't having my feed ready. Alright, so this is where we're thinking we're going to sell into it, so we might just try here. Alright, so the plan was to sell into it, but we're going to be checking what's going on with the stock market. So let me bring that down. Alright, so the stock market's very important here. Not as much selling as I would want on this particular but I want to see it develop here. So the plan is to sell into this rally. We're just watching dollar yen, watching the okay. So you can see it's starting to develop here pretty negatively, and this is standard reaction in my world anyway. All right, that's going to weigh on the pound here. So it's time for me to close out I've got a long euro position here that I've had long DAX. So this leads to the similar scenario where they don't believe the central banks anymore. All right, and that's where it gets really dangerous for the traders. Look, that's, I don't know, 70 pips. We'll just close that out for a second just so we can talk and not be worried about it. A tiny trade. But really, this is going to be waxing and waning based upon what's going on with the pound, the stock market and the dollar yen. And there is a pound, obviously there's a pound yen scenario that's linking these two. We're just watching what's happening here. I want to read the rest of the report, sorry guys, so just find out if they're promising more next. We've got to read the discussion basically to see what they've actually talked about. Surprisingly strong stock still. This is going to mean the sell-off in the pound's probably limited, but it's still early days, right, guys? Let's just see. Let's see what it plays out with. Gut tells me we're going down dramatically, but price action is a little bit muted so far. Surprisingly muted given the hype of this one, right? But you know, follow through on the stock market is required here for this pound to really sell off. So we're just going to take care of a couple of trades. I've buying euro pound here. I was short euro pound and getting out of a pound Swiss. So that's all good profits, but not for me. I don't want to stick around long here, alright? So yeah, I think this is going to be some pretty... I think gravity will affect this over, especially US session. I think they're going to be quite negative on this. So this rally, like we talked about before, it began if the pound yen and the dollar yen fall and stocks fall, it should drag this low. There's going to be a little bit of concern about ineptitude of the central banks. You can't promise the market something like this and then... Alright boys, so yeah, I mean it's not a simple trade, but if you know what the market is expecting, you can sort of play that same trade that they've just got in there. Selling now is a little bit more dangerous, but still probably preferred. Let's just probably go down to the 1 minute just to see the failures on 134 if it happens. And also just want to zoom down a little bit into this DAX here to get into the selling side. You know, but that's easy, like 30-40 pips, just based upon a pre-trading plan, right? Or 50 pips on a trading plan. So it's important to do that sort of stuff so you can have the confidence to enter. Now that was me changing the account spotter. Right, so the what we're looking at here is the we're just seeing if the DAX can get back below 10,000. Might sell a little bit more. And the first sell was up here. We're looking just on the DAX here, 1,000, right? 10,000 if this holds or not. There's a preference to sell though. So yeah, I've hedged up all my long pounds here, taking profits on all the ones that got hedged, and pulled my pound Swiss. So I don't want to be actually involved in long pound at all. If not anything, I'm a little bit short pound at the moment. This is not what the market wanted, and it should chuck a tantrum. Right. But we'll see. I think I'm running at like 15 out of 15 trades here. It won't last. It definitely won't last. It can't be true. Must have some negative trade. Yeah, there was. Short euro pound. But that wasn't a common current trade. Yeah, not a bad month, but nothing great either. The euro pound trades I had going into the Brexit, they definitely cost it. Yeah, it looks like we're taking next leg lower here, guys. Pound yen, you can close if you've been following me. AG high, you can close out, mate. It can get dragged down by this. I'll give it the benefit of the doubt, right? And I still just want to hold it long. It requires stock markets to be a lot weaker. Yeah, buying gold is a good idea, trendline. That's very clean, actually, from that result. It's a nice level for gold as well. Yeah, so it's very likely we're going a lot lower. Let's just see if we can get back below the previous, the opening highs. And a lot depends if this continues, yeah. It's likely it is. No one wants to buy now on stocks. Profit takers have control. The machine's a bit stupid though. Sometimes it takes a little bit of time for them to turn. Don't really know what just happened, right? They think it's just pulled back to a nice buy level. But pretty sure that they'll be overwhelmed. It did strengthen the pound trade wizard. Right, what we're talking about is it goes bang up and then comes back down though, because stock market's going to get wrecked on that. And that's what's happening right now. But really now we're playing the reaction to stocks. Stocks get really weak, below 99 on DAX, then you should see pound below 132. I'm going to read a little bit what exactly he said. Wow, only one guy voted to cut. Jesus Christ. That's interesting. I mean, that's pretty bullish, right? But, stock market should swamp at these levels. It's not at 130 anymore. Pound yen's not at 130 anymore. Pound yen's had a big 10-figure rally, right? Stocks turn here, it will get dragged. The market's gone surprisingly very mellow very quickly. Let's just see if the sentiment can continue to worsen and we get that drag down. So what we're looking at here is really, it's going to be led by pound yen, if it's going to fall. So, below 139, DAX below 99. That's the scenario where things can get really messy here. This was not the expected route of what we're going to see today. I doubt anyone saw they're going to hold that quickly. Must have been pretty pervasive arguments going on in that little meeting room. But they did open the door dramatically for August, okay, so... and there's another August forecast of the economic conditions, so... Okay. Alright.
Looks like this is going to be a protracted battle. And we're going to be trading Brexit news a lot for the next month as well. I'll find out exactly what time these Bank of England economic forecast reports are coming out. Probably early next month. Perhaps it is going to overflow into the euro here, suggesting if the Bank of England doesn't do anything, that the ECB won't do anything. Makes a lot of sense. Makes a lot of sense. But yeah, while we go here, we might as well talk about the Aussie Kiwi, considering that the pound's being a bit ridiculous. So yeah, the Kiwi's got this sell any rally type feel going on in the past 24 hours, and it's broken pretty key level here on the Aussie Kiwi at 105.50. There's definitely going to be a lot of bank recommendations coming out next or tomorrow and Monday about going long. If the numbers for the CPI out of New Zealand are weak on Monday morning, this is game over. Right, this is really game over. A big long-term bottom is going to be put in if the numbers are weak on Monday. It will require, basically an RBA rate cut to get it back down here. So things are developing extremely bullish, and the only reason that I'll be so excited about this is that we're literally at the bottom end still of a huge range. 105 has been the big level for a long time, and this is now starting its rally, and so I get excited when I can see 500 pips, yeah. And I can easily see 500 pips here. Now how that happens is probably more Aussie rally than Kiwi sell-off. But just Kiwi mild underperformance while the Aussie overextends is most likely scenario here. Yeah. But there'll be like a week of pound getting crushed if the numbers come out from the CPI as weak as they did in previous times. So that's something to watch Monday morning. If you're involved in any Kiwi pair, you have to be awake at 8:45 Monday morning. Technically, it's getting bearish, right? And if you get the fundamentals to back that up, it will just get destroyed because it's been on a rally now non-stop for months. Hasn't had a big clean out, so it can get easily back down to 70. Alright, that would put the Aussie back towards 110, Aussie Kiwi. So don't mind that at all. So let's check on the market. Oh yeah. Yeah, so the euro is actually getting this bullish tone from it. Probably, I mean, I haven't read any news yet, but probably because of that, right? That makes sense to me. That now they're going to start to anticipate ECB no easing either. I don't know how much follow through that would have though, or how big a bit of news that is. But if we break range and the pound follows it up, stock markets remain strong. Ooh, you could get ourselves a little bit of a salt on the US dollar. But that's speculation, guys. Let's just not get ahead of ourselves yet. We're getting excited about a 40-point rally in the euro just because it hasn't done anything for so long. But yeah, it does sort of make sense, right? Alright, is there any questions, guys? Well, the thing about the Kiwi DRCP is that it moves extended periods of time against its trend a lot, right? And it sort of does this powerful 200, 300 point moves that don't have any rhyme or reason. And it's because it's easy to push around by the hedge funds. So don't take it personally if the Kiwi tries to destroy you, right? And stock markets can be rallying. Aussie can be rallying, CAD can be rallying, and Kiwi just getting destroyed randomly for a week by itself. Doesn't mean it's going to last forever. It can't last forever. It can't really break down its long term trends, but its correlations. I mean, but it definitely can happen. I'll tell you what, if stocks remain strong, DRCPD, we can easily get up to 160. 150 is nothing, right? That'll take a week for the pound yen. So most of that would probably come from the dollar yen though. But yeah, pound to 140. And the dollar yen to 110, it puts pound yen at 154, 155. Well, let's just see how the market digests that. This is developing much more bullishly than we discussed the potential for, the catch in the stock market. Alright, so the lack of follow through from the selling here, the lack of follow through from the selling here. We still have the US session though, so don't count your chickens until they hatch right now. But yeah, it's definitely more bullish than bearish short-term reaction. Alright boys, so we'll end it up there. Hope everyone made a bit of money. We'll be back tomorrow, see what the outcome is. Don't think there's any immediate reaction just yet. Read a little bit of this. Yeah, some flat now on pound, guys. Looks like there's not much follow through on the stock, so I'm just gonna remain that way until the start of the US session. If selling intensifies in stocks, then I'll look to sell the pound wherever it is. All right, good luck, boys.